Now, interesting article came out from Cal Matters, which is a nonprofit evaluating the homeless situation in California, and they talk about 6 myths about the housing market that they want to undo. And I just thought they're interesting because it just shows you how people phrase information, always shows you where they're holding on it. So myth 1, most unhoused people, notice the word, they're not homeless anymore, they're unhoused. That's an important political statement because if they're unhoused, it's your fault. If they're homeless, it's their fault. We don't want to blame them. Most people come from somewhere else. That's a myth. Well, they say it's a myth in big, bold letters. Well, if you read their data, which is probably exaggerated and false as well, but even by their data, they found that 90% of the homeless people were from California when they became homeless. 75% lived in the same county when they were last housed, which means 25% came from a different county to the one they're in. 66% were born in California, which means 37% came here from some other state and became homeless. And 87% were born in the U.S., which means 13% were not born here. This doesn't also account for homeless children who are brought here by illegal immigrants and then are born here in the U.S., but they're really a product of illegal immigration. But look, if we could solve 13%, why not? If we could solve 37% of the problem by limiting people moving here who don't have plans, by not giving them welfare and then leaving them on the streets and encouraging them to have drugs, there's all kinds of possibilities here, even in these numbers in this myth. The second myth they have is that everyone living in the street is addicted to drugs or mentally ill. Now, again, these are their statistics. They're going to make it the best possible light. They want you to believe that everybody who's homeless is just a random fluke of luck or the result of bad capitalism, and in reality, they can solve the problem with a government program. But it says in their statistics, 56% reported ever using amphetamines, ever. Who uses them once? 33% said they use cocaine regularly. And 22% using non-prescribed opiates regularly. That doesn't count the irregular. So if you have it once a week and you're homeless, that's not really counting these numbers. And then 24% have serious mental illness, and 27% reported substance use disorder. So again, these numbers are staggeringly large when you consider how many people are homeless because of either coming here from other countries and not being prepared, or drugs or mental health. They want you to believe, well, really, it's all three is the same person. There's one guy who's an illegal alien who has mental health problems and is on drugs, and the rest are all just hard luck results of bad capitalism. That's clearly not the case, even by their own statistics. And then another one was most people living on the streets are veterans. I don't think anybody believes that. It's heartbreaking when you see veterans because we've given them medical benefits, we've given them housing benefits, and it is sad to see any veterans at all, I think. And then people who are homeless don't work and don't want to work. That's a myth because they actually asked these people and they all said they want to work. Well, part of the problem now is with minimum wage, it's harder to get a job at lower prices. If you're homeless, maybe you might take a job at $10 or $15 an hour, but we won't let you in Los Angeles now or in California because you have to get 20% in a fast food job. And so that's part of the problem is people, and of course, if you can't go from homeless to the executive suite. You got to start a job and work your way up. But we've eliminated so many entry-level jobs by raising the minimum wage to make it impossible for people who are starting homeless to move. There are nonprofits that take these people and get them started at a low level and raise them up and such, which is great. But there's no businesses able to do that because we've really destroyed that opportunity with the elimination, basically, of minimum wage as an entry point for people in our market.